Target Trading Academy.
Good afternoon, everybody. Preston Vogl here at Target Trading Academy with today's micros market recap. Let's get right into it. It is Monday, not January, March 27th at the New York close. Let's start right into it with oil. So oil opened gap up above that close from Friday. That's the close right there. That's the range high. There was an initial attempt to get down there. It was very slow this morning. Don't be deceived by these graphs here. That 30-minute mark is right there. It took a whole 30 minutes just to get from here to there. And that is how many points? 70.2. Let's go from the high of that. So, half a point in oil, which, back in the day, that was not very much. But nowadays with oil, you can see a spread of, a point or two easily on the day. But in regards to oil, it never made it back to its close. It tried to get back there. That was 1, 2, 3, 4 attempts to break that edge. They weren't successful. One did dip down lower, but those buyers were quick to sweep it back up. And then it just had just as many attempts, if not a little bit more, to break up higher. So that initial run, that's 1, 2, 3, and then on the fourth, they did finally get that traction and that support to join them as it was coming back down, and then they broke through. So with that being said, oil did make new contract highs, and it still just kept climbing. And then towards that close, it just started consolidating. So we are finishing net higher on the day in oil. Gold also opening gap or away from its close, but this time gap down. Oil opened gap up. I can't say they both opened gap up, as one did open gap down. But there was that attempt again, just couldn't quite get it. Even though after that whole day of fighting to make new lows, they did have that round trip eventually. They just couldn't snag it, and they closed out on that upper end, but ultimately never getting back towards that close at all in gold. So it is what it is. Now, as far as the equities go, the Dow, micro Dow didn't make it back. I'll just give you that now, even though we don't have it on the chart. But the micro ES and NASDAQ did make it back to its close. So if we just scroll this back here, you'll see that the micro ES did open gap up. There it is. And it just kind of meandered around and then hit this edge, found support there. Wow, it just, good hour and a half it took and a few minutes, plus or minus 5 minutes, just to get to its close. It was a slow, choppy day, to say the least. And for all intents and purposes, they never really made much of an extension. It was a decent-sized day, but at the same time, very slow, methodical grind and no real range extensions. That's fine. It's just where we were currently situated, there wasn't much in terms of opportunities, as we had just been hitting them so many times. It just, you wear out that level after a couple times. Similar story in the NASDAQ, with the exception that the NASDAQ opened inside of its range around that close. So we opened in that range and hit that HVA edge and had a nice potential entry for a short, and then it came back up. Looked like it was going to trend higher, but again, it was just a slower day. Now, the NASDAQ did have a whole heck of a lot more volatility and participation in it than it did in the other markets. So we do see quite a bit of more response at those edges. Ultimately, though, NASDAQ did make some new lows well below that close, and then just consolidated for a good portion of the day after it got into this HVA around here. You can see after it hit that area, the sellers just didn't want to take it down anymore, but they didn't really want to take it up higher past this HVA either. So we got stuck between a rock and a hard place, much like the other equities. But again, that's kind of your normal Monday. So not a whole lot happened. We are net positive in oil, net down in gold. Ultimately, slightly net positive in the ES here as that closes right there, and net down in the NASDAQ. Now, the markets are going to go on for about another hour. I don't know if they'll make much headway, but as of right now, that's where we are closing in our markets. If you are interested in learning more information about these levels and how you can get them onto your chart the night before, feel free to reach out to us. We are Target Trading Academy. You can find us on Facebook or go to our website at targettrading.co. Get in touch with us at either location. The consultants at those areas will gladly show you what we do in our rooms each and every day, and you'll be able to see for yourself why we are the #1 trading education company in the world. We look forward to seeing you there.